Oh, shit. I didn't know this at the time, but that disturbance out there on the water, that is a massive pod of dolphins. They've come here to birth and raise their young. I do have to admit, seeing a massive pod of dolphins coming towards the boat is kind of intimidating. We'll get back to these dolphins in just a minute. All right, tribe. Attempt number 2 at getting the safety harness at Home Depot. Like I mentioned in the last video, I went there and their card machine wasn't working. They didn't take tap pay, and I need the physical card, which I never carry the physical cards anymore. But I've got it with me today. So hopefully we can get that harness and the drill so I can go up the mast. I'm meeting up with Joe, the guy who sold me the boat. We got to go meet up with an attorney to get the bill of sale notarized so that I can officially make this boat mine. Outside of that, I think I need to head over to the hardware store to see if I can find a switch and a couple of stainless steel screws for the mast. So let's head there now. Sure thing. All right, so we got a switch and some shrink wrap. I still got a lot of time to kill. I think I'm just gonna go wander around. It's been a while since I've just wandered around. All right, I'm gonna head down to the fisherman's supply store. I was the boat marine supply store. I'm gonna head down to the fishing supply store and see about maybe getting a hand line and maybe a dive shirt of some sort. I don't know. I probably shouldn't spend any money, but you know. All right, tribe, so I'm wandering down here to the store, and I just remembered Andreas said that he had a trolling pole, fishing pole and reel that he was going to sell to me for about 1,000 pesos, which, as long as the pole is good, that's the deal I'm looking for. Why do I need to spend 3,000 pesos on just a pole with no reel when I can get the whole setup? So let's go look at something else. All right, guys. Joe said he was going to start heading my way in a little bit, and he'd call me, but I'd like to start making my way back towards the marina, or that way. Kind of hang around there until Joe shows up. All right, so I'm still waiting for Joe to show up here. I was hanging out with a few people over at Club Cruceros. I'm gonna take a walk out here, just offside the marina, so I can smoke a cigarette. There's no smoking here on the marina property. So, all right, so I'm just outside of the marina, across from the chandlery. I met a few people. I met the mermaid in town. There's a young lady, and I didn't get her name, but she's a professional mermaid. I didn't know you could be a professional mermaid. Take classes and everything, so that's cool. But yeah, I think I have to give Joe a call here in a few minutes to see where he's at. Woo! All right. One more problem solved.
Well, that was fun. Now I get to go up the mast. Joy. It's gonna be fun. Well, today was an eventful day. Left the boat early this morning and met up with Joe. We went down to the attorney's office and I got the title notarized. So now the boat is officially mine. We left the attorneys, went to Home Depot so I could get this harness. And then we went to go check out that Boston whaler I was thinking of buying. I think I changed my mind. It's gonna require a lot more work and effort than I can put into it. I don't have the time right now, and I definitely don't have the money. So it looks like I'm just gonna have to continue patching the holes on my dinghy. It holds air right now for about 3 hours or so. I'll keep the pump with me. But all in all, it should work fine for what I needed to work on. Got the motor's sitting out here on deck, but I still don't have a gas tank and fuel line. The guy I was gonna buy the Boston whaler from does have a gas tank and fuel line. I've just gotta get the money and go back out to where he's at on the ranch and get that. So, slow going, but things are going. It is hot, you guys, in Baja. It is hot. We are moving into spring. It's only gonna get hotter and humider. Humider? More humid. All right, tribe, so a step closer. What I did is I went and I re-ran that switch to the secondary fuel pump that I was talking about in the last video. And I ran it up to the cockpit. And as you can hear, the engine's running just fine. More importantly though, while I was testing out the system, I tried firing up the engine without the secondary fuel pump, and she's running great. She's still running great, which tells me that perhaps the fuel lines are less dirty, which means that it's not clogging up. Before it would only run for a few minutes, sort of bogged down, and I'd have to kick in the secondary pump to keep it going. We're gonna see how long this will run without that secondary pump. If it goes for a good hour or so, I'm gonna be pretty happy about that. We've got the fuel lines somewhat clean. We don't know yet, but fingers crossed.
Well, tribe, my dog Mouse brought my attention to these guys. They're out here in the anchorage again. A massive pod of dolphins and several pairs of young adolescent dolphins, probably less than a year old. I think they were probably born this year. And their pod takes them to this nice little area here where you have to pass through a channel to get into the bay. It's sort of protected. It's a good spot to sort of raise your young, not to mention we have copious amounts of fish that just hang around these boats, which is what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the dolphins kind of go through and surround the fish. Currently, the fish are below my boat. So as you can see, I am completely surrounded by this pod as they sort of circle around and feed themselves. Speaking of fish below my boat, check this out. Look right there. That is a dolphin, an adolescent that's swimming under the bow of my boat, going for the fish swimming in the current. You can go underneath the boat. There he is. All right, so what I'm looking at here is a whale lens. It's made by the flukes of the tail on the dolphin as it's swimming through the water. It sort of pushes this lens of water up. Back in the old days, the whalers used to think that was an oil slick left by the whales. All right, so as you guys can see, the dolphins are quite comfortable around all of the boats here, swimming around in huge groups, doing their fishing and playing and stuff.
Sometimes I get a little bit worried when a boat passes through and they don't see the dolphins. I'm afraid that the dolphins might get hurt. However, the dolphins are smarter than I am. They understand a 3D reality better than I do. They just go down away from the boat, and they're perfectly safe. So because they are all around the boat and they do go down under the water where you can't see them, I'm having a hard time tracking them. I'm doing my very best. They tend to get spread out sometimes, but sometimes they get right up close and next to the boat. Like I mentioned before, there's a current that sort of runs around the boat as the tide goes in and out, and in that current, huge schools of fish like to congregate. They feel safe under the boat, but these predators come in huge groups, and well, I don't think the fish have a chance. Well, tribe, it looks like they're gonna stay kind of far off of my boat, probably because my dog likes to bark. Wait a minute, what's this? I am electrified with excitement as these dolphins start approaching my boat to go for the fish that are swimming just below it. Waiting patiently to see what the dolphins are going to do as they make their dives to sort of investigate to see what I'm going to do, when all of a sudden, right behind me, a dolphin surfaced. Here, if you watch carefully, you'll notice the smaller dorsal fins popping up in between the larger females. Those are 3 adolescents, probably less than a year old, swimming around with their mamas and aunts. Good morning, tribe. Well, it is the next day. Yesterday was pretty amazing. To end the day off with a massive pot of dolphins coming through the way they did, that's something that you don't see every day. Needless to say, life on the boat so far has been amazing. Today's Sunday. I'm not going to do much today. I might cook something. I'm getting kind of tired of the quick and easy food. I'm a little bit bougie with my food, but
been playing catch up. I haven't really had the time to organize or even buy some real food. So we're gonna work on something a little bit later. We're gonna be leaving La Paz here in probably 2 weeks, heading north. We're gonna check out the islands, work our way up to Loreto, and so forth and so on. But for today, guys, I'm just taking it easy. So I'll see you in the next video.
Fueled by ADHD and caffeine since 1976.
Appreciate it.